Hi everyone. So let's continue with the next session of profiles and permission set. In the last class, we discussed about user creation, what is a user, and what is the role in a user. All those things we have discussed, but there are three major component, one more major component of user creation, that is profile. We discussed like a profile is a required thing, and we will discuss now in detail what actually a profile is, what things you control via profile. Okay, so let's start. Mhm. Give me a minute. Okay. So we discussed about what a role is, what a user is, right? So we'll just recall what a role is in a system. So first, when you create a user, that means you are creating a license for a employee or a person who's going to use a Salesforce system uh, and the application within the system, right? So you're going to share their applications that you have built on Salesforce with them, and they can do their daily jobs on the Salesforce after that. And then we define role and the role hierarchy. So role hierarchy is more of a your company hierarchy, like who is at what level in your company. According to that, we define the roles and what level of access they should have to see the data of their below subordinates. A role is defined, right? This is mainly used during sharing of the data. Data means when you create a record of any account or contact, any in any table you create any record, that data needs to be secure. No one should access it openly. You need to secure your data, and people should have limited access to your data. Only those records should be exposed to which they are entitled to. Okay. Now in the now we'll talk about profile. Like in user, we saw we have roles, we have profiles, and then we'll talk about permission sets as well. Profile is a very important thing in while creating the user. A profile defines the access that a user is going to have over entire org, right? So let's say you created four applications. You have an application in your system, and imagine that one application is for HR department, one application is for finance department, one application is for sales team, and one application is for your service team. Out of these, you have different departments, right? So people of HR department is not required to access application of sales team or service team or the finance team. Maybe finance team it may be required, but at least they don't need sales and service team. So what we can do, we can hide those application from the profile, and only those objects and application will be accessible by HR department people, whichever we have given access on their profile. So what we can do, we can create four profiles in our system. One for HR department, one for finance department, one for service department, and one for sales department. And on that profile, we can control the access of application. We can control what objects mean table. Talk in detail about objects in the next class. So objects is like a table. Imagine it's like an Excel sheet. So what all Excel sheet data table they have access to? It's not exactly an Excel sheet. I'm just telling for example, it's an Excel sheet. Imagine as an Excel sheet. Then what level of fields meaning the columns that they can access, and we can define their own layouts. Layout means what they see on the screen, whether they see this field or not, whether they see this section or not, or a particular button or not. Those things we can define. Plus their logging in hours. So at what time they are logging in, they should log in. That is business hours is also defined on the profile. And then permission set is, we'll talk in permission set, but I'll just give you a brief. So let's say after giving the access on the profile, you want to enhance those access. So that can be done via permission set. In general, permission set is used to enhance the access. Okay, when someone need more access and you don't want to do it for all the users, only for some users, you go with permission set. Okay, so we'll see. We'll not talk about summary, but we'll see how the profile looks like in an org. Okay, so what I will do, I'll go to again to setup. In setup, what you can do, you can search for profiles. So Salesforce has some standard profiles which is given out of the box, and some custom profiles also they have created for us. Let me show you. Go to profiles. This is profile, right? So wherever the custom is checked, that means these are custom profiles. Wherever it's not checked, these are standard profiles. So each profile has a type of license. Like this contract manager has a Salesforce license. This chatter moderate user has a chatter free license. So only users with the matching license can be assigned to a profile. Suppose you created a Salesforce license user and you want to map it to a chatter free, it will not be successful. It will fail. Okay, so whatever license your user have, the same license the profile should also have. So we created yesterday one user. Let's open that as well. User, right? So we created, this is our user through which we log in. Then we created one more user with custom sales, right? This one, this user. Okay, so this is also going to a custom sales profile. What is the license of this? If you check the license, custom sales profile, where is custom sales? Salesforce. That is why it is tagged. Now let's see. I try to tag it to a community. I don't think it will give. The good thing is it will not give you an option because it's dependent. Let me show it to you what I mean by dependent. When you select a license here, Salesforce, automatically only those profiles will be visible to you which are mapped to the Salesforce. Suppose I choose a license as Salesforce platform. So only Salesforce platform license profile will be available. That means for Salesforce platform, we have only one profile available. Where is that? Make it 50. Yeah. So Salesforce platform, only one user is available. Sorry, only one profile is available. That is why when I selected Salesforce platform, it is coming here by default. Okay, so let's go with Salesforce. I'll not do anything. I will cancel this. All right. Now, what all things we can have on a profile? Let's open a profile and see what access we can have. So, for example, I should open a Salesforce profile so that we can test it. Let's go with customer sales profile that we used yesterday. Okay. So this user, this custom sales profile, what you can do, you can control the layouts, what layout they can access. Then you can control field level security. We'll talk about field level security in FLS as well in detail. But field is like one column in an Excel sheet is called a field. Okay, one column. So let's say this is your table and this is one of the field. I will say this is one of the field. It's like a field. Okay, so you can control which field a profile should see, which field the profile should not see. For example, let's say you have a employee object where you store all the data of the employee. Okay, for name, address, phone number, email ID, salary, and emergency contact number, all those details are shared. So if I am at the same level of that employee, we both are colleagues, okay, then I should not see his salary. Salary should be hidden, but I should see his, I should be able to see his email ID. I should be able to see his address, phone numbers. Those are generic information, right? But salary is something which should be hidden from the people who is working with you at the same level and the people below you. However, your manager can see your salary, right? Right? He can adjust your salary, he can see your salary. So your manager need access to that salary field, whereas the people working with you at the same level don't need access to your salary field. And yeah, that is how you can control the access. You can on the same table, you can show that salary field to your manager because manager is a different profile, and you can hide the salary field from the colleagues who is working with you at the same profile, and that is what you can control via the profile. Okay, we'll do these all these examples. Just take a theoretical knowledge for now. Then we have custom apps. So what all apps should be visible on the profile? Okay, let's do some changes and see how it behaves. Let's first investigate everything. Then tabs. What all tabs will be visible to that profile? Tab meaning when you go to any application, let's say I'll not open here. Let's say I go to sales application. Okay, I'm going to a sales application and I will see multiple tabs. All these opportunity leads, these are the tabs of different objects. Okay. So if you want, I can hide account tab from this application. If you want, I can add reports and dashboard, campaign tabs as well from this application for the profile that has logged in into Salesforce. Okay. That's it. That is what it's tab. Record type. Record type is what should I say about record type? So a single table, imagine you have an Excel sheet, okay? Excel sheet is same as a uh, object in our Salesforce system, okay? Now, within that Excel sheet, you create another worksheet, okay? With same fields, with same uh, columns, everything is same, but another Excel sheet, okay? But what you can do is you can modify the worksheet to without impacting the worksheet one, right? For the users who need access to worksheet 2. That is what a record type is. In our object, we can create different record types so that we can change the layout of the record pages according to the requirement of the profile. Okay, that is also an example which we'll cover. But let's first talk about profile. Let's focus on profiles here. Okay, we can control the record types. And then what else we can control? We can control administrative permission as well. Administrative permission, like we have an access of setup, right? We can do all things in setup. Why? Because we have view setup access. So if you see view setup and configuration, this is one of the access which an admin should have to launch this setup. And that is why it's called a manage admin access. Then we have manage applications, then we have managed there are a lot of things, but I will not cover all these are admin access, what an admin can do. Okay, system admin generally have access to the major one, but not to all of them. Okay, let's compare system admin access with this. So I'll open a system admin profile and see what admin access this has. Mostly all the checkboxes will be checked, I think. I assume that. Not all the checkboxes. Some checkboxes are left to be manually checked. If you go to, you see, these are standard object access, admin access. Let's see. What is that column name? Record type settings, and then we have administrative permission. Yeah, let's search this. Mostly, see, mostly it's checked, but not all of them are checked. And even in object access, you see, what access the system admin has? System admin has access to all of the objects by default. See, plus they have modify all records. What is a modify all records? So modify all record give system admin ability to control any data in any table. Why? Because we are system admins. We are the person who controls this system entirely. If someone is facing any issue, they will come to us, and that is why we need access to everything. Okay. For example, you are using HRMS application in your company, like your manager is seeing your salary, but in backend the entire HR entire developer who is developer of that HR system, HRMS system, or admin who's an admin of that HRM system can see the entire data, even your manager's salary, even sometimes CEO salary if it is in the database. Okay, so that is why they have access to everything. Modify all records in each and every table. They should have access, admin. Otherwise, if they get any, if you report any issue on any data, how will they look into it if they don't have access. So that is why they need access. Plus, it's a trust thing. Like admin cannot do anything wrong in your system. They are system admin. That is why. So that's one thing. And then let's do one thing for now. If you see in the standard object, let's this custom sales profile. Let's modify something and let me show it to you what you can do with these profiles. So for example, uh, I have a way to log in, okay? Maybe you all want to know how to log in via a user. I will show that to you. So let's say I want to give access to an object. Let's say not all objects, asset, campaign. So for example, let's say campaign access is here, but I will hide campaign. So I have removed the access of the campaign. Let's save it. Okay, when you log in via the user of this profile, so there's only one user in our system, then that user cannot see campaign anymore. Okay, they don't have access to login. Let's see if I can log in via this tool. This tool. Okay, this tool has ability. Yeah, this is a Salesforce inspector tool. I don't know if your company is going to allow that, but I have this. So it's throwing an error. Okay. So I think I will have to log in via this and then let me set it up. Give me some minute. Let me set it up and then I can do that. Yeah. So what I have done, I have logged in via the user, uh, the new Salesforce trainer user in a different tab. Now what I have to do is to grant the access to log in via the user. I will have to go to my profile settings and then there's an option to not this, sorry, my settings. And there's an option to grant access. Grant access, grant account login access. Okay. So your company administrator give it access for 1 year. So if you have any issue on the Salesforce platform, you can raise ticket with Salesforce support team, and they also need access to that. So this is how you grant them an access. They will ask you, can you give me access of your org for 1 day or 2 day? So this is how you will grant access. So they will log in via your user. Okay. So for now, let's grant system admin to login. Okay. And then this is just saved. Now when I go to Salesforce here, I will refresh this page. I will see a login button beside this. You see? Now I can impersonate this user. Interesting. Now my system will look like I have logged in as a new user, new Salesforce channel user. Now this is, oh, lightning is not coming because the lightning is not enabled. This classic view is coming. I showed you in the first class or second class the difference between Salesforce and classic. Okay, so let's see here only. I will enable lightning later on. Uh, I hided the campaign. Okay, so campaign is not visible, right? It's not visible anymore. So what I will do, I will log out from here and will give access to the campaign now. Yeah, I hate this. That is why I like this tool because when you log in via this, it doesn't let you log out. Sometimes it gives you throw you out from the entire org and you will have to log in again. All right, so when I go to setup, I'll go to that profile again. And this time what I will do, I will hide some fields of some object, okay? So that you understand what a field access is as well. So custom sales profile, on the custom sales profile, I'll go and give access to campaign now. And within campaign, I will hide some fields and I'll show it to you what it looks like on the custom profile user. So when I campaign, so it's default off because there's no access. Let's make it default on. And then on the object level, let's give access of read. Only read. Suppose there are three access, four access. Read, create, edit, delete, view all records, modify all. So read means you can just read. Create means you can read and create, but you cannot edit. If I give edit access, then you can edit. If I give delete access, then you can delete. Okay. So if I just give read access on the campaign, you can just read the data. You cannot do anything. For example, I will change it on account as well. Maybe we don't have data in the campaign. That is why I'm doing on account. So right now you can just read access of the account. So let's save it and see how it behaves. Oh, I could have enabled lightning as well. Lightning, so I'll check why they don't have lightning issue. So we'll log in again. I'll not log in via this. I'll log in via this tool. This is a tool. It's not a Salesforce part. It's a Chrome extension called Salesforce Inspector Reloaded. You all can install in your Chrome and you can log in from here. This time it should work. No, why is not enabled? It is enabled. Okay, now campaign is visible here. You see, if you see any active campaign, yes, we have, but we can just read. There is no edit button here. You see, there's no edit button. Similarly, on account, what I have done, I have removed the edit access, right? So if I go and see, I can just read the account. I cannot edit it. If you want to modify any field, there's no edit button, right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give edit access to both campaign and account, and you will see. Go to the profile again, and on that object, we'll give a read access. I mean, read is already given, we'll give an edit access. Account. So read is given, I will give create, I will give edit, and I will give delete so that I can show all these three. Similarly, for campaign, I will do the same thing. Give it read, create, edit, and delete. It's called CRUD access, CRUD. C for create, R for read, U for update, and D for delete. You will always listen to this about this within your company. CRUD access, CRUD. Okay, I saved it. Now I'll go on same. See, it's very helpful when I log in using this tool. I don't have, I will do the change and I can test it here. I have edit access, I have delete button, right? Because I gave that access. I can do any edit as well. That is what an edit is. Similarly for campaign, I will see I can do, there's no edit. Interesting. Should have. I gave edit on campaign, I believe. Yeah. Maybe it's not added. Let's see if I can edit from here. Okay. How admin access it? Let's see what it looks for admin. I'll switch to classic just to have a common view and then go to campaign. Even admin cannot edit campaign. So there's some setting with campaign which is not allowing. Anyways, the concept here is when you give an access to the profile, you can edit it. Okay. Now, um, let's see how the field access can be controlled. So for example, I'm on account, okay, record. This is my account record and I'm seeing everything. Okay, I want to hide annual revenue from customer sales. I don't want to show them this field. So what I can do, again, I can go to the same profile, custom sales profile, and then you can search field level field access. What is that? There are two ways. One is via this profile, another is via object. Where is field level security here? Field level security, standard field level. So you have to work on the account object. So click on view on the account, click on edit and look for that field, annual revenue. Here it is. So if you want to hide annual revenue, what you can do, you can just uncheck this read. If you uncheck the read, edit will automatically go away. Now the custom sales profile cannot see the annual revenue. If I go to custom sales profile and go here, I'll not see annual revenue, right? There's no annual revenue field. It's not there. Let's bring it back and show it to you. There is annual revenue here. Give edit access, save, and refresh this page. Here I'm logged in as a customer sales profile user. Now my annual revenue is again back. This is what it's called field level security. Okay, we discussed about object level security where we can hide an object, we can give a CRUD access to an object, and we can give extra access to any object if required. And we had talked about field level security where we can hide a field, we can display a field, you can make a field read only, you can make a field edit only via profile. Okay. Now the best practices that you have to follow when you go with a profile. So in a profile, you can have hundreds of users. For example, you have a sales team who which sells a product and you have a very big company, right? So that sales team is selling multiple products and that team can contains 100, 200, or 500 employees. So on one profile, all they belong to a sales team profile. On one profile, you have hundreds of users, right? Okay. Now, what you should do in general when you start building the profile, as a best practice, you should give minimum level of access on the profile. The reason for that is Salesforce profile is the base, is the foundation of access. Okay. Once you give access to the profile, you cannot revoke the access. I mean, you can revoke the access via profile again, but you cannot revoke the access via any other mechanism. Let's say I have given access to this annual revenue on the profile. Okay. But going forward after 1 year or 1 month or 2 months, what your manager is observing that annual revenue field is visible because you gave access on the profile level, right? So it is visible to everyone. Now you want to hide it for some users, right? One or two users only, not for all the profile users. So it's very difficult now because when you hide it from the profile, all users will be impacted, right? So that is why you give minimum level of access on the profile so that if you have to give any extra access, you can easily give via permission set. Okay. But if you have already given extra access to the profile, then you cannot bring it down from that level. For example, if you have given edit access on an object, there is no way you can remove edit access from from some users. All users will have edit access. Even though they don't need edit access, they will have edit access. But if you give read access on the object and if you want 5 users in that profile should also have edit access, only 5 users out of 100, 5 users should have edit access. So then, because all of them have read access, only 5 users need edit access. Then what you can do, you can create a permission set and give those 5 an extra access to edit it. That is why it is always suggested to go with minimum level of access so that if required, we can open the access using permission set in future. Okay. When you start building the application, you have to discuss with your business what profiles we have to create. For example, they tell you create a sales team profile, create a service team profile, create a HR team profile, you create a uh, finance team profile. Okay, all these profiles are listed down. Okay, note it down somewhere. Then next question you should ask, what object level of access should a sales team have? That is something which business team should take a decision. You can suggest, but you cannot implement because it is their business, it is their system, and they have to decide what access the profile should have. So sales team generally have access to opportunity, account, contact, leads, and quotes. All these sales where you sell a product and then you track something, all those orders. So sales team have access to these objects only. Okay, service team don't need access to opportunity. They don't need that. So service team mostly need access to account, contact, and cases because they handle the tickets of the or the complaint of the customer. Well, and similarly, the HR team need access to employee roles and I mean employee data, employee table, and maybe some HRMS objects like annual revenue or the entire company, some company information data. Okay, so those things are decided by the business people, and then you have to note it down and then implement it. Okay. Now, when you go with sales team, what you can do, okay, you need to understand here as an admin that sales team need access to account information, need access to contact information, need access to opportunity lead, all this information. So they should be able to create opportunity. They should be able to create lead. So what if you think they should be able to create opportunity and lead by default, what you can do, you can give on the profile read, create, edit, access, not delete access. Okay. But in future, if they need delete access, you can do it via permission set. Okay. But you are not sure if they need edit access on account or not. So always go, if you are not sure, always go, if you or your business are not sure, always go with minimum level of access. So give them read access on account and just leave it. So that after 1 month's business decide to give edit access, what you can do, if all users need access to edit account, you can go on the profile. There's no harm. But if some users need access, do not change the profile on the profile level. Rather, create a permission set and give them extra access. We'll talk about these examples again in the next class when I will discuss about the permission set. Okay, but here it's a suitable example how to differentiate between a profile and a permission set. I hope you understand all this concept, and it will be more clear to you when we will build permission set and see how we are giving extra access to the users on the same profile. All right, thank you. Let's continue in the next class.